Thanks for staying with us here on Morning Live. Now, while the ruling ANC will be holding its annual January 8th celebrations and rally this weekend, the country's third biggest political party, the Economic Freedom Fighters, is preparing for a gathering of its own. The party's Siyabonga Rally is set to get underway in eThekwini in KwaZulu-Natal this weekend. The EFF says that the rally is to thank its supporters in KZN after having grown its support base in that province. But, of course, some have questioned the timing of the rally, given that the January 8th statement is also going to take place, and this being widely accepted as a date where the ANC marks its formation. But we're joined now by Veronica Mente of the EFF. She's the national chairperson. And thanks so much for speaking to us. Welcome to Morning Live.
Thank you very much, Sakina, for having us. Good morning to you and good morning to the viewers at home.
Ms. Mente, perhaps we can just start, before we get into the weekend activities, by getting your view as the EFF on the state capture report, at least your observations and reaction to the first part of it.
Good morning, Sakina. You will know that the EFF has got the highest decision-making body, which is the Central Command Team, and then the NPA, which has then instructed the organization that it will have a war council which deals with the day-to-day of the organization. And the war council has resolved that it will thank all the voters that have voted for the EFF in the 2021 LGE. And therefore, it scheduled all the dates. Then the 8th is one of those dates that we have scheduled as a war council to celebrate with our people.
Okay, I was asking something different, but, let's speak to that. We can perhaps come back to the previous question. You say this is to thank the EFF supporters. Can you just give us a little bit more insight into that? Because, as you will imagine, some people would say, but the EFF has failed to obtain an outright majority in any of the key municipalities. So what exactly is the party celebrating in this regard?
The EFF might have failed to enjoy the outright majority in all municipalities. However, the growth of the EFF cannot be ignored, in particular in the areas of KZN. You'd remember that even in 2019, the EFF in KZN grew massively, about 500%. From what we have received in 2014. Same applies to these particular elections of the previous year. The EFF in the KZN alone grew from 59 PR councillors to 159 councillors.
So in this regard, you said earlier on, Ms. Mente, that you have a calendar of events and this was one of the dates that was marked. How do you respond to those who say that that this is a significant date for the African National Congress marking its anniversary? Is this perhaps the EFF being mischievous, needling the ANC, trying to steal its thunder, as it were?
Being mischievous would be the War Council ignoring the resolutions that it has taken and ignoring the organizational discipline, because the 8th of January is just like any other day. So it's not belonging to anyone. That would be a biggest myth. The 8th of January does not belong to anyone. Everyone else can have any other event or enjoy themselves or celebrate any other thing they would like to celebrate, any other political party. And therefore, that would not be fit to say the EFF is undermining the ANC. We do not subscribe to dates and the calendar of the ANC or whatsoever. We celebrate even the calendar dates with everyone else, and that has never been deemed to be undermining of anyone else. And we do not understand then now why would the 8th of January be belonging to the ANC when we all go and commemorate many other dates that are in the calendar of this country, as all the political parties in this country.
So, Ms. Mente, what are the activities that are planned for tomorrow, and where, how, what time will they unfold?
As from today, 12 o'clock in Inanda, there will be the slaughtering of 4 cows, which are a significant symbol to thank our people. You'll understand that as African people, every time we have to thank, there is an animal that is slaughtered in thanking and showing gratitude to both the ancestors and the living, to say thank you for giving us life and thank you for voting for EFF. But most importantly, thank you to the ground forces of the KZN that had made these numbers possible. And then around about 2, all media people are also invited to come and deal with the accreditation logistics at the event venue.
Ms. Mente, just to get back to my first question, and I was just asking about the EFF's reflection and observation to the state capture report that was released. Any preliminary views at this stage?
Oh, okay. Thank you for repeating that. I didn't get it properly. We have issued a statement, and in the statement, we have expressed our feelings around the state capture report. The first thing is that the acknowledgement of the fact that the state capture took place was, in fact, the EFF and its fighting spirit in enforcing the state to investigate thoroughly and investigate all the criminal activities that had taken place from the revelations of the report of the previous public protector, Thulima Donzela, which we also fought for through the courts of this country for it to be made public. And out of those revelations and the findings of that particular report, we therefore went to Parliament and enforced the Parliament that it must then undertake a process that is not going to be a bias, a process that is going to look into the matters. And we trusted that this particular process is going to be a process that is going to be presided over or conducted by a person who's going to be very neutral, listen to all the cases, look into the evidence, and ensure that the findings of that particular evidence and all the hearings that they will be undertaken by that particular process will then yield some results in ensuring that we arrest these criminal activities of corruption within this country. But then it's not a shock, not at all, because we have seen how the Zondo Commission turned out to be. We have seen how the Zondo Commission started acting up against certain individuals. And we also have seen how the Zondo Commission also did not even invite the EFF as the initiator of this particular process. And with that, we expressed our disappointment, but then we are not shocked because the standard of justice in this country has become the lowest at all. And we do not then trust in a process where its findings are already saying NPA will prosecute where it deems fit, and other things must be investigated further. After 2 billion rand have been spent, and therefore the process then did not yield the results that we actually were hoping for.
So just finally, Ms. Mente, in that regard, what is the EFF's course of action from here on in? Are you going to wait for the entire report to be released before you embark on a course of action, or will you already start, moving on what is on the table?
As we have indicated, we will wait for the other 2 volumes of the report. And after receiving all the reports, therefore, we will look into it and see what will be our next course of action. But as far as up to now with the first one, we are very disappointed with its outcome. And actually, we are not shocked because we have been actually voicing that it looks like there are individuals in the judiciary that are working with the people that are collapsing the state, that are ensuring that South Africa is going down. And we are not then disappointed so much with its finding, but we are disappointed with the way that people are taking this country down. And we had so much trust in the justice of this country. The justice of this country had been behaving very well. The justice of this country has been finding all the things that are wrong and ensuring that this country is going through to the right direction. However, having Judge Zondo conducting himself in a manner which he was conducting himself during this particular hearings and this particular process is so much, leaves so bitter taste, and it's so much questionable as to what character will he be in the near future for this particular country.
Well, we unfortunately have to leave it there. But as you say, when the EFF does finally give us, a comprehensive view of its position, we'll take it further at that stage. But thank you so much, Veronica Mente, who is the national chairperson of the EFF. With that, it's time for news headlines. In your headlines, the Speaker of the National